Good morning, this is Rachel with Infused Meadows, and this morning, I need to do cranberries. I'm going to make some cranberry juice. So, I've already washed and went through all of my cranberries, gotten rid of all the bad. So if you wanted to do this, here's bad. Okay, cranberries should not be squishy. See that? So if any that that you can feel it. If they're squishy, get rid of them. You can't use them. And that's just the ones that I didn't throw away. So you want to put your cranberries into a nice heavy pot. And these are just containers that my husband and I use. We actually have, I think it's pronounced an ITEHIL, ITEHIL, reverse osmosis water filter that we use. I can try to do a video on that just to show it. But we filled these up. I'm not worried about the plastic. Again, cannot find big glass jars for a reasonable price. So I use these because why not? I can fill these up over and over and over again. They don't set, so all the water that I use in my home is filtered. So you want to cover your berries with water, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to put these on the stovetop on a medium heat, and then we're going to let them go until the berries start to burst. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that twice. So once the berries burst, I will pull these out with my spotter, put them into a separate bowl, take the juice, and then run it through a filter into another bowl, and then put the berries back into the pot with more to see if I can get the extra juice that's going to come out of them, okay? Because normally you can get about 2 rounds out of your berries. And so that's my plan today, because this does make a very concentrated juice. So what does that mean? That means that for every 1 cup or 8 ounces of juice, for you to drink it, you would want to use 3 cups or 24 ounces of water to dilute it, because it's so strong. Now you don't have to. If you like your juice strong, you go right ahead. It's just most cases, that's what you're going to do. All right. I'm going to get this on my stove. You know what I'm doing, and we'll be back. I brought you over so you could hear them popping, and they stopped when I got over here. Hopefully you can hear it. So they'll all pop, and at that point, you'll give them a good stir and make sure that you don't see any more that are solid. Keep them going until you don't, and then once they pop, we're going to let these simmer for about 10 minutes, okay? We'll be right back. They're boiling, so I've set a timer for 10 minutes. Just wanted you to know. We'll be back. Also, I do recommend a spotter. These come in handy whether you're frying your donuts or deep frying anything else. When you're blanching, to dehydrate, or whenever I go to pull these out to put them into this, to then put them back in. So just a thought. These are handy dandy. Alright, we'll be back. Okay, so my 10 minutes are up. And I want to pull the cranberries out. Now, like I said, I am going to run this through again. But when I do it again, I'm only going to add about 2 quarts of water to the berries, since they've already cooked down some. Now you can see that they are not pale in color, so I should be able to get more juice out of these, which is good. And I'm not going to smush them just yet. Okay. I do actually have another one of these. It's a little smaller. but okay, well, I think you see what I'm doing. We'll be back. So to that pot, I've added 2 quarts of water and the cranberries that were in here. And so we're going to let this come up to a simmer. And once the simmer starts, I will hit go on my timer for another 10 minutes. And then I'm going to sit here or stand here. I'm not really sitting. I'm going to strain this off through this. So I don't know if you can see. You should be able to. You just want to, oh so carefully. You do not want to wear white when doing this. It's cranberry juice. It will stain, okay? And then once I get this all filtered, I'm going to wash this pot so that all of it will go back into this one pot to combine after I have strained off the other one. And you can see all those seeds and stuff that just came out. That's the sediment that you don't want, which is why I'm using this. Now, some people will use a cheesecloth or a coffee filter. So you use whatever you want. Just make sure you strain this really well, okay? If you use a wire mesh sieve, then you'll want to strain this off twice. You'll want to take it through the first time just to catch your berries like you saw me do. But you know, I use this one. And then the second time you want to run this through this again, but with a coffee filter inside, so that the coffee filter catches all the little seeds. And this right here that you see, that's that sediment that you don't want going into your juice. Okay, I hope this helps. We'll be back. Okay, this is clean. I've washed it, and now I'm going to pour this back into this so that I have this for when that over there is ready. Okay, so if you're following, you're just going to do the exact same thing. Isn't that beautiful? All right. And we will set this right here while we wait. I just need that to come up to the simmer. And like I said, once we have that simmer going on, I will set the timer and we'll do it again. I should also add that with this, I'm not adding sugar. Because it's a concentrate, I just want to get this all together and then into the jars, and then I'll can that up. You're going to put them in your water bath or your steam canner. Once it comes up to your bowl, or it's doing the same thing in your steamer. The only difference is, you know, you'd watch for the steam to come out rather than looking down, you know, because you should have your lid on your canner, rather than looking for those bubbles, you know, to indicate that it's boiling. So anyway, once that happens and you have your bowl, you're going to set that timer for 10 minutes. And then it's pretty much the same thing. Once you get your 10 minutes done, you're going to turn your heat off and you want to walk away and let them set for 15 minutes. Now, you do the same thing whether it's in your water bath. Well, actually, I can't say that. Usually for water bath, I think most people let them set for about 5, maybe 10 minutes. I don't think they do the full 15. But I will check and see if I can find out. I think, because I've used the steam canner for so long, I've forgotten, and that's my bad. I do apologize for that. But usually, I'm going to say the safe bet is to let them set. Let them set for at least the 10 to 15 minutes, preferably 15. That way they can come down in temperature with your water. You're going to take your lid off. And then after the 15, take them out, set them, you know, away from a window that's open. You don't want to draft. Same as you've seen me do. We're going to pull our cloth over. So, still waiting on this. It's going to take us time, you know. And we'll be back, okay? I apologize. I was wrong. So, if you're using a water bath canner, then as soon as it is done boiling, you are going to remove the containers from the canner immediately. I don't know if you can see that at all. But you're going to remove it immediately when the processing time is up. Then you've got your steam canners after canning. Ball Blue Book. Highly recommended. It's got all kinds of recipes in it. You can get a full walkthrough of just about anything that you want to can. It goes over, it talks about your open kettle canning, how you should not dishwasher can. I don't know why anybody would try that. You should not microwave can. Again, I don't know why that has to be mentioned. It's metal. You don't put that in a microwave. Oven canning, steam canning. How to adjust it for your altitude. How to count your processing time. I'm sure you don't really need me to read this. Anyway, Blue Book, Ball, it's a canning book. There are other books out there. This is just the one that I've used for a very long time. And so I'm just sharing that. Now, you know, if you have a grandmother that's canned, go to her. She obviously never hurt anybody with her canning. She probably has more knowledge than what's in this book. There could be recipes in her head that the book just does not have. That's why I'm saying that. Because, you know, this is a thin book. It's not going to have every single thing that you can in this. But now Ball does. I'm not sponsored, by the way. No. But Ball does put out, I think, a new canning book either every year or every few years. Because I do actually have others. I just really like the Ball Blue Book. Anyway, I'm just sharing that. So still waiting on that to come to its simmer, and then we will still be back unless I come up with anything else to come back with. The other canning book I have is the Amish canning and preserving book. Okay. As you can see, this is thicker. They do have more recipes in theirs, but like I said, if you have a grandmother, she may can things, or a mother, like my mama still cans. So, you know, when in doubt, go ask them, because like I said, they've canned things that may not be in these books, or it could be in their book that came out like 10 years ago, or it could be a recipe that came out 20 years ago. So, you know, unless you can find a way to get every single cookbook out there, your grandmother or your mama may just have it in their heads, and, you know, you can say, hey, Mama, how do I, and they can just tell you. They'll just know because they did it for years. So I hope that helps. Anyway, looks like we're about to simmer, so we will be back. I just want to say one other thing. I encourage you to go look up the health benefits of cranberry juice and cranberries. And you can turn those cranberries into juice. You can turn them into cranberry sauce. You can dehydrate them to add them to things. You can make cranberry muffins. All kinds of stuff. You know, just like any other fruit. There's all kinds of things you can make out of it. So, I just wanted to say that. We are actually starting to bubble, so I'm going to set my timer and we'll be back. Also, one other thing. I know that there's a trend going around telling people to just put so many berries into their jars and then add so much sugar and then add water. I'm not doing that. Cranberries are hollow. So as you process them and they burst, they're literally going to turn right around and soak up a lot of the liquid that you have in it. So whereas I'm going to use, you know, about a fourth of a headspace on each jar, fourth of an inch of a headspace on each jar, you're going to end up with jars that are going to take that liquid in, and then you could end up with, you know, a nice half a cup of liquid that's now missing because the berries just, you know, opened up, soaked up that liquid. Because like I said, they're hollow. So there is no, you know, there's no filler in there. It's not like a grape. That's just my opinion. And there's many out there. You know what they say about opinions. They're like buttholes. Everybody's got one. Anyway, if you haven't heard that before, there you go. Southern saying. So these are going to continue simmering. I still have 6 minutes, 37 seconds. And we'll be back. I know for you it's just blinking. But, you know, hey, we'll be back. Okay, so they're done. Timer just went off. And I'm going to switch to this one. Because this is a smaller pot and my spotter won't go down into this. So, it is the exact same process. You can tell the berries have lightened a lot in color. And then all we're going to do, like I said, same thing. You're going to move these over so that everything can drain out. And feel free to press those berries just to try to get as much liquid out of them as possible. And exactly what you watched me do the first time. Except for I won't be putting these back into any water this time. I feel like this is enough. They're done. Okay, so I'm going to finish doing this and we'll be back. Okay, so I've poured all of that juice in here. And this is what's left behind. I've already smushed, squashed, whatever word you'd like to use, the berries down as best I could in here. And I've moved them over into a bowl. So I'm just moving this around to get whatever juice I can out of this. This will go in the same bowl. And unfortunately, it will go into the trash. So if I get more cranberries, which right now, they're usually on sale most places. So now is the best time to buy cranberries. Now and possibly after Christmas, because, you know, after Christmas, they'll be like, well, we got to move on to, I don't know what's next, but whatever's next. Okay. So I'm going to keep doing this. And just so you know, this is, as long as I've been using this, I've found that I don't need a coffee filter. But that's just my experience with this thing. Love it. If I can remember where I got this, I will try to leave a link. I don't think this was an Amazon purchase, though. I really, really don't. But I'll look through my emails. I do keep receipts, you know, of things that I've bought just in case. And so I have a whole folder. I'll see if I can find it. But this was bought like, maybe 4 years ago. So yeah, we'll see what I can find. Anyway, I'm going to finish doing this and we'll be back, okay? So, I'm now going to pour this juice into that juice. And then my plan is, I'm going to move you back. I'm going to bring my jars over. So I have 5-quart jars, which is all that'll fit in my steam canner of that, the fat jars. So I'm going to get some hot water into my steam canner. Get this over here. I'm going to fill those up. And then whatever won't fit, I'm hoping will finish off into this one. This is a 34-ounce jar that I got from Kilmer. So, yeah. And then we're going to do our usual. We're going to wipe the top of the jars off with some vinegar, put the lids on, put the rings on, put those into our steam canner. And then process them the way I told you. Literally bring it up to a boil. Once you see your steady line of stream, set your timer for 10 minutes. And then if you're using a steam canner, then once it's done, you literally let it set for the 15 minutes after you turn the heat off. And it does tell you that in the instruction manual, just so you know. I'm not sure that you need to see it, but I will do a short just showing the jars. Actually, I'll pull you back so you can at least see these as I get them full. Okay, so we'll be right back. Okay, so for this, I'm not going to pour just yet because there's a lot in this pot. I've got the hot water into my steam canner, but I still need to move it over onto the heat, which I'll do that in a few minutes. And remember, you want a 1/4 inch headspace with these. So if you see it looks like it's full, it's because there's foam. That foam will go down. I'm not worried. And you shouldn't be either. And if need be, you know, at the end when you get everything done, you can take a spoon and scoop off the foam if you want to. I'll move those though so you can see. Hopefully you can see. Right, well, I don't think you want to spend the entire time watching me do this. So I'm going to finish filling these up and we'll be back. They're all going into the steam canner. I've already told you what to do. So I hope you watch this video. I hope you give this a try. If you like cranberry juice, hey. This gave me 4 quarts and just enough to actually pour into a cup. So I'm going to do that and have myself a little bit of fresh cranberry juice while I'm waiting on this to process. Okay, I hope you give this a try. I hope you like it or love it. If not, I hope you find the recipe that's out there for you. And as always, have yourself a very wonderful day.